Thanks for joining me, Nellie. So, off the top, you get the crown. It's the moment that you dream of. Here it is, the confetti, the crown. You're like, I did this.
I did it.
And
after 11 years, I did it.
11 years.
11
of trying
years.
to get there. And you get the crown, as they say. And within, what, a few days?
Yeah, about a month, really.
A month in, you start to see things on social media.
Sure, yeah. So I actually was the first Miss America to really use Instagram, which is kind of interesting to
Really?
think about. Yeah. 2013 is really when Instagram started taking off for the general population and public. And so, I know. What a moment, right?
Yes.
It brings tears to my eyes. It was such a long time in the making. But all that to say, I went to Hawaii with one of the sponsors of the Miss America organization, and I hung out with Miss Hawaii. And so we're out on the beach, and we're having a good time and just hanging out like two 24-year-old girls. And suddenly, within a week, I'm plastered all over every national tabloid, right, and talking about whether or not I've gained weight and what that means for me. And I equate this scenario to anyone who's dieted down for a fitness competition or maybe a photo shoot.
Yeah. Weddings, people do it, they diet down for weddings.
You lose that water weight and you trim down for that moment that you want to be really proud of, and I am very proud of that moment, but this is more real life, and this is definitely real life.
Well, you look great in both.
That's what I think.
So,
thank you.
You know, the picture comes out. I know that people always say, oh, don't read the comments. Listen, I read them too.
Yes.
So you start reading them, and they start getting in your head.
Well,
you started getting, like, offended, I'm sure. Look at these things.
There's a famous quote that says, yes, those things were written about me.
Well, let me give perspective on this.
Okay.
These are actually things that you found in 2017, December of that year. Emails were leaked. These emails included the words that you see here that I'm uncomfortable even reading in front of you. But some of them were that you were barely recognizable. You were in the Macy's parade. In the email, someone wrote a blimp in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. They were talking about you.
I wish I had been in the parade.
Right.
This is them just making fun of me, saying that I look like a balloon, basically.
Who was behind these emails?
So several members of the board of directors of Miss America, including the CEO and chairman of the board, Sam Haskell. And it was really unfortunate to read, but not surprising to me at all, which is really sad. And to me, that speaks to how pervasive this is in culture, not just in pageants, not just behind the scenes, but it's pervasive in any one of our industries that we're in.
And I think people say things so flippantly in this snarky way that they think, oh, it's okay. You know, it's, what harm am I doing?
Sure. There's that famous quote, one boo is louder than 1,000 cheers.
Yeah.
And when you really think about some of the things that stick with you throughout your life, when I was 14, one of the second pageants I ever did, I was first runner-up. I was very proud of that accomplishment. I was enjoying the moment. And someone came up to me on stage and said, if you'd have lost 10 pounds, you would have won. And of course, that sticks with you, and especially when you're 14.
Well, this is why boys, girls, eating disorders, you know, these things you get trapped into, self-doubt, and as you said, the boos get louder and louder. The Miss America organization did lose sponsors over this. The officials stepped down. Did you ever get an apology?
I did from a few members of the board, but not from the main person behind all of it. But that's okay. Yeah. I don't need an apology. What I needed was for it to stop, and it did. And so that's really all I needed from it.
The Miss America organization previously accepted responsibility. I guess in their way, they saw them owning it. But the person who ended up owning the most was you, to your point, that you took a stand and you thought, I am not going to let this defeat me. I'm going to turn this into an empowerment for myself.
Sure. And that whole entire scenario led people in my community to ask me to run for Congress, and I did. So in many ways, in many ways, I reflect on that, and while it was a really tough time in my life to deal with it, it was tough for my family to read those things, it was tough to go through, it showed people around me how strong I am and how capable of being a spokesperson, not only for myself, but for my community I am. And I think that until we have more women in leadership and more diversity on television and more women in positions of power, then we're going to continue to see this type of thing. So while I wasn't successful in my run for Congress, I do think that I changed the makeup of politics in my state, in Alabama, where I'm from, and I'm very proud of that.